we are back again. This time on another wonderful, fantastic, magnificent Wednesday. It is absolutely beautiful outside. And yeah, it's been a day of campaigning today. The brothers and I have been successful with some souls today, which is a great thing. What about you? Does the form help transition people? Yes, it does. Does the sun give off some extra energy that gives off more friendlier or more positive, more vibrant vibrations when you're speaking to people? I'm just saying, yeah, I had to take my time with that one. I didn't know what I was going to say. But needless to say, we got it in and we've been campaigning out here. What about yourself? If you haven't been outside and got some of this great SUN, I highly recommend that you do so. Nothing happens without the sun, and neither will you smile, grow, and develop into the being that you want to be. You wouldn't grow into that without the sun. Nothing would grow without the sun. I'm just saying, think about that. While you're inside the house, got frowns all on your face, you know. Turn off all of that CNN news sometimes. Turn off that C-SPAN and MSNBC sometime. And watch a cartoon. Watch an old school sitcom like The Jeffersons or All in the Family or Sanford and Son. Sometimes you have to give yourself a mental stress relief even when you're outside. I mean inside, that is. If you're gonna be inside, watch something that's of a happy tune, you know? Yeah. It don't have to be always about violence and destruction and drugs and stuff like that, or men cheating on women, women cheating on men. Go back and watch you a cartoon sometime. I'm just saying. Hell, just think about it. If more adults would watch more cartoons, imagine how many less deaths, senseless deaths, that it possibly could be. I'm just saying. Just think about that. And another thing to think about is this summer. They just opened the fountain up a couple of days ago. Yeah, the Buckingham Fountain is back open. I'll be down there tomorrow. Y'all see me down at the Buckingham tomorrow or something like that. Like I said, I just got finished campaigning, okay? But needless to say, we should have a great time out there. But watch out for the team takeover. So if you see a gang of them, don't be afraid. You know, you don't have to hold your purse. You know, you ain't got to make sure you got your watch hidden or your jewelry hidden. You know, sometimes you got to give them a play. You know, sometimes things like that, doing actions like that, make people want to do things to you that they really ordinarily would not have, just for the purpose of you thinking that that's the way that they are. Y'all think about that. And for all of the people that's in the chat room, I want to say thank you for being here and stopping by, because you could have been doing something else with someone else, but you decided to stop by to see what we have got to say. And we appreciate that, and we tip our hat to you. Okay? We're just having fun out here on this fantastic, day. And like I said, we saved a couple of souls. Sorry about that. Sometimes that happens when you're talking. You know what I'm saying? Has that ever happened to you? Of course it has. As long as you've had a tongue, a mouth, some teeth, and some saliva. I'm just saying. So don't be too hard on your brother, okay? But needless to say, you are, speaking of hard, you know, could you imagine being in Rodney Hinton Jr.'s shoes right now? Could you imagine what would have happened to Rodney Hinton Jr. on that elevator with the 3 deputies? Could you imagine that? Could you imagine what they were going to do to him had not that gigantic of a black man stepped in and like, oh, I'm riding the elevator too. What's happening? And then you had a sister who also helped participate in the protection of Rodney Hinton Jr. because his life is in danger. Believe it or not. Do you think that Rodney Hinton Jr. needs more protection from black officers? Do you think that those 3 white policemen who was in that elevator with him, snickering before the black police got on the elevator, do you think they had something atrocious in their mind? Something demon-minded of doing to Rodney Hinton Jr.? Do you think so? What do you think about the rally that the Black Panther Party had a rally with arms and everything, outside, letting Rodney Hinton Jr. know that he has support out here, despite the fact that they took down his GoFundMe. They took it down. Do you all think that was right? Or do you think that was wrong? Do you think that Rodney Hinton Jr. was wrong? Do you think that the police that shot and killed Ryan, his son, was wrong? Like I said, Ryan was killed in 6 seconds after the police stepped outside of their car, their cruiser as they would call it. 6 seconds, he was dead. Only thing you hear is gun, gun, da 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 da. Disconnected the young man. Yes, a firearm was found at the scene, but no shots were fired at the police. And once again, according to the investigation thus far, they didn't say, or it is unclear whether Ryan was actually pointing the firearm at the police as he was running. I don't think that the young man was, and they don't know either. How about that? But needless to say, it only took 6 seconds to kill the young man. So all of you young men that's out there who just saw the death of 18-year-old Ryan Hinton, did you see what he was doing? Don't be like that. Him riding around in a stolen car is what got his life taken. In addition, with the hand of the police in Ohio, Cincinnati that is. If Ryan had not never been in that car, that stolen vehicle, his father would not be going through this right now. Have you all ever looked at it that way? If Rodney's son, Hinton Jr.'s son, Ryan, was not with the crowd of young men that he was with, do you think that his life would have been snuffed away like this by the Cincinnati police? You have to ask yourself these questions now. I'm not throwing neither one of the brothers under the bus. No. Were the police wrong? Yes, they were wrong. They know that they were wrong. And as far as the transparency that the chief of police, the female lady, yeah, the one that even looks like a Karen, the one that looks evil, like she's trying to cover it up. This is why they haven't released the name of the officer who shot and killed Ryan Hinton. Why is that? Why hasn't anybody seen him? I'm just saying. But yet, you try to intimidate his dad with 80, 90 police all in the courtroom. Not to mention the fact that there was a great chance that you was going to do something evil to him in the elevator. But the thing is, do you think that Ryan would have been alive if he were not with the young group of men that he was with in the stolen car? However, as I say, the police don't get a pass on this because they were most definitely wrong. They saw a young black man, saw that he had a gun, and decided to shoot and kill him. Point blank. Was that racially motivated? Possibly could have been. But seeing that that was the situation, meaning the outfit that Ryan was wearing made him a target to be hit like that. Is that a great possibility? I'm just throwing that out there as a question. Because like I said, the police don't get no pass. They were wrong. They were wrong. And as we know, like many of them, they are wrong when it comes to the shooting and the killing of black men and black women. I thought they was going to try to pull a Sandra Bland move on the man. I'm serious. And that could have been the case. We don't know. But Rodney Hinton Jr., you have a lot of people that's standing behind you out here. Many people understood or understand your frustration, your aggravation. And as I stated in the prior video, some may say that you even took one for the TEAM. Black people just tired of you all. It's just that simple. All of that which, what if that would happen to other police officers who unjustly killed somebody's son? Imagine what the repercussions of that would be like for the families of the police officers. Seeing that they are quick to take your life away and to make your family grieve. What if a change of shift came and all of the wrongdoings that you have done and people have come to cash in on your family? Yeah. And some people say that it don't even matter. I was talking to the young people today, and I was asking them about the situation. And most of those young people said, it don't matter. Any one of them will do. That's what the young people said. That's how the young people feeling. But at the same token, while they was telling me that, I asked them, why can't you feel that way about us when it is the young people that is shooting and killing us? Why can't you have that same energy when it comes to shooting and killing your own people? You see, we have all the smoke when it comes to us, but we don't have no smoke for those other section of the people who seem to present more headaches, more problems, consistently having their foot on your NECK. I'm just saying. Y'all think about what I'm saying, and y'all know I'm telling the truth. And I'm not playing either side of the field. I'm just keeping it a buck 100. And I'm sorry for you all out there. I'm trying to get your name out there. Said hi, Joe, and someone else. I'm sorry, it's sun glare. And besides, I had went and got my eyes did. I got some new glasses coming, you know what I'm saying? So they dilated my pupils and everything. So I'm seeing sort of crazy, and I can't see all of those words. It took me a minute to type the title in before this live took place. But anyway, we're here, okay? Yeah. Because it's madness here in Chicago. Prime example of that would be the 73-year-old man shot and killed walking down the street over here on the 3900 block of Thomas, which is Springfield and Thomas on Chicago's west side. No one has been apprehended. They disconnected the man by shooting in his back. 73-year-old man. No one knows what happened. And this was around 7 p.m. yesterday. And nobody knows what happened. No one has been apprehended. That's a shame, because I remember when that neighborhood was a very cool neighborhood to live in, like I know of many other neighborhoods that used to be pretty cool to live in. But nowadays, they are very dangerous. In fact, I'm going to give you all a tour of the most dangerous spots on the west side of Chicago, so be looking out for that video. I got something for you. Yeah, me and the brothers going to work it out. Been doing a lot of things, you all. You can't even, feel safe as an elderly person walking down the street. Neither was it safe for that 20-year-old who got shot on 14th and Morgan, shot and killed. Yeah, right on the UIC campus. Imagine that. 20 years old, According to the reports, an SUV pulled up. 5 men jumped out the SUV, and all 5 men disconnected that 20-year-old man, leaving him like Swiss cheese. Damn. Nowhere safe in America. Nowhere safe in America. Especially in Chicago. So y'all be careful out there. I don't care if you're elderly. I don't care if you're middle-aged. I don't care if you are in your 20s. I don't care if you are a child. And if you are a child, your parents should be outside watching you unless you like, you know. Right nowadays, I remember back in the day when you were 10-year-olds, you know, when we were 10, you could ride your bike, go everywhere. We used to ride downtown. Sometimes we used to get chased from downtown, especially down there by Cermak. Chinatown, we used to get chased on the bicycles. Chinese used to chase us out of there. Back in the day. Not today. Even they're getting slayed over there in Chinatown. I'm just saying. So all of that, which they did, is coming upon them too right now in the city of Chicago. Yeah. They feeling the heat too. All over the city. South side, north side, east side, west side. Everybody is getting that SMOKE from the street ninjas. Yeah. This has got to stop. 27-year-old man. What's his name? Carl Price. Beat a 62-year-old man. Yeah, 62-year-old man that has an amputee. Beat him with an aluminum baseball bat. Whew. The man posed no threat to you. The man is 62 years old, got a fake arm. He don't have a gun or a knife, but you use a bat and you try to beat his brains out. We are so glad that the police call you Carl Price. And Angelo Sutton, who's the victim, who's in the hospital, according to the reports, they say that he's in critical condition, fighting for his life. And right now, Carl Price, you better hope that that man don't die, because you too will die in prison for taking the life of that man with an aluminum baseball bat. Like, did you get any points for that? You don't get no points for that. The man almost 40 years your senior, man, with a fake arm, bro. Like, what you doing? This is why we be out here campaigning, okay? This is why we be out here campaigning to these young men and young women. Because young women also get that smoke in these streets, and they also give it. According to all the reports that I've been giving you with the violence that is taking place with the young women here in the city of Chicago. Y'all think about that. What are you all doing in your neighborhood, in your community? And for all of those new people, yes, for all of those new people that just joined into the chat, I want to thank you for being here, because you could have been somewhere else doing something else with someone else. So I want to thank you all for being here and stopping by to see what we have to say today, because it's crazy, not only in the streets of Chicago, but in the streets of LA, in the streets of Florida, in the streets of Memphis, in the streets of New York, in the streets of New Jersey, in the streets of Colorado, Minnesota, Indiana. I'm just saying. All over the U.S. There has to come a time and place when we have to cut off the switch of self-destruction. There has to come a time when we have to cut off the switch to self-destruction. Think about that. Here it is. You have all of these minorities, what they call us here in America. All of these black people look like me and you. And many millions and millions and millions of us ask for respect, but we don't have respect for ourselves. Even though we know we got ops. Yeah, and we know who the ops are. But yet and still, we still play a role in our own self-destruction. If we knew better, we would do better. Obviously, some of us don't know better. And for all of you all that's out there, that's critics, that's in the jury box, throwing rocks, what you got going? How many souls did you save today? Did you go outside and speak to the young lady on the block? Did you go outside and speak to the young man on the block? What did you do today? While you out there throwing rocks at me? What have you been doing to save your life? Oh, I just stay in the house. You got to come outside sometime. You got to deal with these young men, young women. And just hope that you make it back in. I'm just saying. You all know what it's like in the HOOD. We don't have to go there. But needless to say, that's what's going on. All of the violence. All of the violence. Not to mention all of the laws that is against you. And you're still killing yourself. It seems to me that some of us tend to make it more harder than what it really is. Yeah. 100, think about that. Think about that. Just think of how many times that you've actually gotten into trouble. Who was at the helm of it? Who spearheaded the whole thing? Huh? Was it you? Was it you that made the ultimate decision? Or did somebody twist your arm to make you do that? No. That's 100. But as far as killing one another, we've been programmed to do that. Let's break the algorithm of that, okay? Can we break the algorithm of killing one another? Can we do that? It seems to me that the answer is no, but with all of the things that we are facing right now, especially with this new administration, it's time to cut off the switch of self-destruction. I'm just saying. Who's out there? I really can't see, Like I said, I went to the eye doctor today and pupils dilated. Like I said, it took me a minute to even put the title inside of the video, but some kind of way we got it there. I can barely see what's behind me, okay? But I can see myself a little bit, okay? I can see myself to know that there's some people out there and I want to tip my hat to them and I want to thank them. More abuse in addition to the stories that I just gave you, more violence, more sad news, because a woman in the state of Michigan, Aisha Harris, did the unthinkable, killed a 3-year-old Harmony Henderson. She was babysitting the child, okay? And what did she do? She slammed the child's head against the bathtub and then poured hot, scalding water on the baby, okay? They need to put her under the jail right now. She copped the plea 2 weeks before her trial began. Yeah. Her mother, the victim's mother, Harmony Henderson's mother, trusted Aisha Harris. She was a friend of hers who did some babysitting before for her. But the baby threw up. Yeah, the baby threw up some kind of way. And the next thing, according to the reports, the baby head is being slammed against the bathtub in the bathroom. That's a damn shame. You all better watch your own children. I'm serious. And you have to be careful of who you allow to watch them. You see what happened just right now to Harmony Henderson. Her mother trusted the babysitter, but the babysitter went wacko. Every day, the state of mind changes for people. Some people lose it that day. Some people can save themselves that day. But some people are on the brink, just a thread. They are a thread away from snapping here in Chicago and some all over the U.S. with those states that I just named. Yeah, a little while ago, you know. People are on the brink of snapping out here. Can't trust nobody though. That's for sure. And I'm so glad to see that statue in New York hasn't been tipped over yet, okay? Yeah, you know that statue of the 12-foot black woman? I can imagine the conversations that New Yorkers are having right now about that statue in Times Square. But anyway, you all, that's my time for today. And if you haven't checked out my other channel, MOPOWERZ here on YOUTUBE, make sure that you go over there and check out that channel and review those audiobook series that we have for you all. The hard work is done. The only thing that we ask that you have a little time just to listen to it so that you can get some more brain food. Okay? Yeah, because over there we have the likes of Black Man of the Nile and his family, From Babylon to Timbuktu, The Message to the Black Man of America, The Fall of America, The Destruction of Black Civilization, As a Man Thinking, The Chronological Order from Alchemy to Wicca, King James Demonology, and so much more. The Miseducation of the Negro, World 16 Crucified Saviors. We got a whole lot of stuff over there. So go over to that channel and check that out, especially if you are into traveling as well. So we got brain food over there and traveling. All over the U.S., places to go. Mopop Museum. We have Washington, D.C. at the White House. We have in Philly Park, in Philadelphia, by the Crack Bell. All of that good stuff. We the People statues, where George Washington used to stay at, where they used to hold slaves down in the basement, in his basement, in Pennsylvania. Yeah, go over to that channel, okay? And we have the Black Holocaust Museum over there as well, and we have the National Civil Rights Museum over there. We got the Mopop Museum, which I said. We got Churchill Down when we was in Kentucky. We got all of that museum as well over there on MOPOWERZ. And if you are into hip-hop, R&B, spoken word, comedy, Chicago independent movies, go to my other channel where it all began at, The Mo Show Classics, THEMOSHOW Classics, all one word, no space, here on YOUTUBE. I'm just saying. And on your way out the door, we want to thank you again. On your way out the door, make sure you hit the subscribe button, the notification bell, and the word all to help ensure that you get notifications when we upload videos on YOUTUBE. And also press those condiments, the like and the share. Share the information with relatives, friends, co-workers, anyone that you come into contact with. It is a magnificent way to jumpstart your CONVERSATION. Thanks for viewing, you all. Peace out and never give up on your DREAMS.